A New Orleans baseball legend spent decades inspiring fans across the country, but after his death, time nearly erased his name. Tonight, it took one journalist's relentless search through the history to make sure John Bissant's remarkable story and his final resting place would never be forgotten.
The game where the Negro athlete has left a bright mark.
Every baseball fan has a favorite player. For Ryan Wordy, being a fan went beyond collecting cards and chasing autographed memorabilia. It means chasing stories.
I love doing it. It's just a part of me by now.
Yeah, this is not something you make money from, by the way.
It's basically a blown-up hobby.
The New Orleans journalist and researcher has spent years documenting the lives of Negro League players, preserving names and histories that too often faded after the final out, blogging about them on his site, homeplatedontmove.com, a nod to legendary pitcher Satchel Paige.
It goes way back to my undergrad days. I had a class called Sports and the African American Experience, and that's where I first learned that, yes, there was black baseball before Jackie.
His search has taken him to dusty archives, forgotten newspaper clippings, and eventually, cemeteries.
I can find a picture of it.
We joined him inside Carrollton Cemetery number 1.
I just looked up where all the Negro Leaguers are buried.
Where his research led him to the resting place of John Bissant.
He wasn't just a baseball player, arguably the greatest all-around athlete, black or white, to come from New Orleans.
Long before Jackie Robinson broke baseball's color barrier, New Orleans' John Bissant was making a name for himself in the Negro Leagues. At just 5'8", he wasn't the biggest player in the field, but he was one of its most dynamic, playing for a number of Negro League teams, but his time with the Chicago American Giants made him legend. Some newspapers called him the team's ace outfielder, praising his glove, his bat, and blazing speed on the bases. One sports writer simply called him death on the bases. But when the major leagues finally integrated, the opportunity he'd spent a lifetime chasing had passed as he aged out of the game, never getting the opportunity many Negro League players deserved.
Some played in the minors, but they never got to the show.
Then came the discovery he couldn't shake. Bissant's family plot, unmarked and disheveled, and what was once a segregated section of the cemetery, now called the section for indigent burials.
You wouldn't be able to tell. Yeah.
So,
it looks like, is there a, like, the Bissant name, is there like a stone on the back that maybe fell?
I could be. Oh, yeah.
Wordy brought his findings to his blog.
From my grandfather coming up.
Catching the attention of Bissant's grandchildren.
So I wasn't aware of the Negro League part. Coming up over the years, I started looking up my grandfather's name and realized how he was a part of something very special, playing on a field where blacks wasn't allowed to play along with their white counterparts.
A few comments on Ryan's blog turned into emails with Bissant's granddaughter, Cherie Smith. Together, they confirmed his research, and she uncovered a family treasure.
Dear Mr. Bissant.
Decades-old letters from fans around the world who had never forgotten the man that she simply knew as her grandfather.
We found a box of letters where people have written him from all over the world, requesting his signature, wanting to come and see him, and kids, Mr. Bissant, I follow you. Your stats are phenomenal.
18-year-old high school student living in Rhode Island, researching your career. I read that you broke into the Negro Leagues in 1934.
And to make sure his name wasn't further forgotten in history, Ryan proposed to Cherie a way to memorialize her grandfather.
I saw his grave, and I said, this is perfect for the project, for the grave marker project.
I started the Grave Marker Project in 2004. To date, we've marked 65 graves of Negro Leagues baseball players that were buried in unmarked graves.
After all of this, you finally get to come back and we have it.
Yeah.
Today, John Bissant's name stands where it always belonged.
Jeremy, he just emailed and said, it's there. We couldn't have asked for anything better, honestly.
Not because history remembered him, but because someone cared enough to make sure it never forgot him.
He deserves it after all this time.
And he has such a storied history. If you want to know about more about Bissant's acclaimed history, you can go to our website, his sports history, including the many teams that he played for. You can go to Ryan's website. It's called homeplatedontmove.com. By the way, he is now currently searching for the resting place of one of Bissant's teammates and friends, Lloyd Ducky Davenport. If you have any information, you can reach out to Ryan. We'll have a link to his site in this story on our website, wwltv.com.